If you're watching this video, then you must be a professional skin picker like me. So you look in the mirror and you see a zit, you gotta pop it, or if you're like me and you're an Accutane, you see like little flaky skin, you gotta pull it. We all know that that's not good. We all know that that's not what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to let our skin heal. And when you pop those pimples, it's even worse because now you have this crater where dirt can go in and it can go in deeper, but you can't stop picking. And that's been the problem that I've had for years now. But then as I got acne, it got even worse because now I have more pimples to pop and I'm on Accutane, so I'm going through the purge and I have all these zits. I have zits over here and they're pretty big, and sometimes little pieces of skin that I am just obsessed with picking. So today I'm going to show you the 3 ways that I changed that for me, the 3 ways that worked for me to stop the skin picking and attack that habit from the psychological to the physical level. So let's get right into it. The first thing that we need to tackle is to remove the trigger that makes you want to pop that zit or pull that skin. For me, for example, I have this magnifying mirror that it was something that I love. When I bought, I was like, oh my God, now I can, see my skin up close. I can see where the problematic areas are and I can squeeze it even more. I can make my skin nice and clean and free of zits. That for me was a trigger. I had to get rid of my magnifying mirror. For you, it could be something different. It could be that you just have this habit of touching your skin and feeling for zits, or it could be that when you see a zit, you have that desire to pop it, or you could be anxious, bored, you could be itchy. So it's important to think about it like, when am I popping these pimples? Is it in the morning after I shower that I stare at myself in the mirror? Or is it during my day, like when I start feeling my skin? And you try to remove these triggers. So I'm going to give a couple of examples. And we have a visitor right now. Settle down. Maybe you trim your nails so you make it harder for you to pop the pimples, or you get rid of your tweezers or like pimple popping devices, which I owned too, and I got rid of them. So you have to try to find when in your day are you picking your skin and write it down and see how can you make it more difficult for you to do it. Once you find out what your triggers are, please let us know in the comments and let us know how you avoided these triggers. I'm sure that a bunch of us have similar triggers and we can all use the help. Getting into our second part here, you should also be replacing those habits. One of my triggers is looking in the mirror and seeing a pimple. So for me to replace the habit of squeezing that pimple once I see it, I changed that to let's put a pimple patch on. And what that does is, first of all, I cannot squeeze once I put the pimple patch on. And it's tough because the first impulse is to squeeze that zit. And why is it to squeeze that zit? That's because when you squeeze it, you get some sort of satisfaction, like your brain sees that as a reward. If you are used to skin picking, if you're a professional skin picker like I am, this is what your brain is doing. That is reward. When you see, that stuff coming out, that feels like a reward. So you need to actually change that habit and try to get the reward in another way. For the reward, it would be when you take that pimple patch out and you see all that nasty stuff in it. And other ways to do it, if, for example, you're one of the people that like to feel the skin, is to have some sort of fidget toy or something that you can do with your hands. I have that habit too. I will be touching my skin and looking for zits or little skin that's dry and like ready to be picked out. So what I did for that was I started knitting. I noticed that that's something that happens when I have my hands idle and I'll be watching a movie and then, start touching your skin and then you end up picking it and then you're all red and your skin is not improving. So for me, it was knitting because then now my hands are busy and I can't really pick. But for you, it could be a fidget toy or anything else. Maybe, I don't know, a stress ball, whatever works for you. Now getting into the third thing that I do, you should be training your brain. What happens is these habits, these triggers, They're all related to how your brain is used to operating, how it's used to doing things. It knows that if you go in front of the mirror and you see a zit and you squeeze it, it's going to feel good. You're going to feel that satisfaction. So it's so difficult to stop doing that because your brain is used to it. This is like something that sometimes you do even mindlessly. To train your brain, there are a couple ways you can do it. Every time you have that urge, you have that trigger to squeeze a zit or pick on your skin, you should be doing something else. For example, you can close your fist like this for a minute and do that every time. You want to pick on your skin, you feel that urge, just clench your fist and do it for a minute. I didn't just make this up. I read into what are ways to change habits, change like these urge habits that we have. And this was one of them. And it really works. You just have to do a competing action. But this has to be something that you choose to do. Like it's not going to happen just because you watched this video. Now, if these tips didn't work and you couldn't change the way that your brain reacts to whatever triggers you have, maybe you should look into therapy. That is a second way to train your brain and to change that habit. More specifically, cognitive behavioral therapy. That can help you with anxiety or even like the reason why you're seeing that zit at such a problem that you need to solve immediately. That could be rooted into something else. So therapy could be a good solution for that. And if you tried all these steps and it didn't work, you couldn't train your brain, you tried removing your triggers, replacing the habit, and you're still picking on your skin, you can try medication. And there is medication for this type of thing. Some that I ran across on my studies are NAC Supplements and SSRIs. I personally never took these medications, but if you're having a hard time getting rid of this habit, if this is something that's happens very intensely for you, you're constantly picking on your skin, and it might be that you have anxiety and you're anxious, so you pick on your skin, and then after you picked on your skin, it looks bad, so you get more anxious. Could be a vicious cycle. So in these situations, it might be better to just go to a doctor and see the options of what medications you can take to stop these urges. Another reason that people pick on their skin is just visual, right? So you look in the mirror and you see something you don't like, a pimple, a flake, and you start picking. To stop that, you could try to have a better skincare routine. Right now, I'm on Accutane, so for me, it's really hard to build a good skincare routine because I can't use anything abrasive. I can't use anything that will damage my skin barrier. So I did my research and I built this Accutane survival kit. And this survival kit is good not only for people that are using Accutane, but for anybody that has dry or sensitive skin. I'm going to put that video somewhere up here. And in this video, I tell you what kind of cleanser I use, what kind of moisturizer, everything, sunscreen. You can take a look and see if that works for you and maybe build your own skincare routine. But taking care of your skin is one of the things that you can do to avoid pimple picking. Also, choosing products that will not break you out. All the products that I put on my Accutane survival kit are known for not causing breakouts. Don't forget to share in the comments what was your trigger and how you got rid of it. Make sure to like and subscribe so you keep getting more content like this, and I'll see you when I learn some new stuff.